Good morning all. Myself Vineet Gupta from School of Pharmacy, PBD University, Lucknow. Today we are going to discuss the topic isolation and identification and analysis of the phytoconstituent. This topic comes under the syllabus of Pharmacognosy and Phytochemistry Part 2, which is from the 5th semester, and the subject code is BP504T. Under this topic we will cover firstly Glycyrrhiza, that is Mulethi. The common name of Glycyrrhiza is Mulethi, sweetwood, Rigolizia, Jeshta Madhu, Yashti Madhu. It is obtained from the dried, unpeeled roots and stolons of the Glycyrrhiza glabra, which belongs to the family Leguminosae, and the parts which are used, they are roots and stolon. It is commonly cultivated in Spain, England, and in India. The allied species of Glycyrrhiza is Glycyrrhiza urelensis. The chief chemical constituent of Glycyrrhiza is glycyrrhizin. Glycyrrhizin is a triterpenoidal saponin glycoside, which is also called glycyrrhizic or glycyrrhizinic acid, present as potassium and calcium salt of glycyrrhizinic acid. Being a glycoside, glycyrrhizic acid on hydrolysis gives aglycon and glycon portions. Glycyrrhizinic acid, glycyrretinic acid, that is glycyrrhetic acid, which is an aglycon of triterpenoid structure, and two molecules of glucuronic acid. Upon hydrolysis, the glycoside loses its sweet taste. Now we are moving towards the introduction of glycyrrhizin. The glycyrrhizin is a sweet tasting compound from licorice root. It is 30 to 50 times as sweet as sucrose. The pure glycyrrhizin is a odorless compound. Glycyrrhizin and other products with this component have a long history of medicinal value and are used in the treatment of peptic ulcer, as well as it is a triterpene derivative. The IUPAC name has been described here exactly, and it has a molecular formula C42H62O16. The molecular weight of the component, that is glycyrrhizin, is 822.94 gram per mole. Now we are moving over to the isolation of glycyrrhizin. The isolation of glycyrrhizin from glycyrrhiza is based on its solubility. The glycyrrhizin is soluble in hot water, alcohol, but slightly soluble in cold water and insoluble in ether. There are three different methods for isolation of glycyrrhizin. That is, the first method is acid precipitating method, second method is alcohol extraction method, third method is ammonia extraction method. First we will discuss the acid precipitating method. In this method, we weigh 50 gram of licorice powder and 300 ml of water in a beaker and boil with styrene. Decant the supernatant liquid and filter the remaining residue and collect the filtrate. Adjust the pH by adding the acid, the glycyrrhizin precipitate out. In this, filter and collect the precipitate. Wash the precipitate with the cold water to make it free from acid. Transfer this precipitate to the china dish and heat gently to remove the water content. A shiny brown mass of glycyrrhizin is collected. This is the first method, that is acid precipitating method. Now we are moving over to the second method, that is alcohol extraction method. In the alcohol extraction method, we again weigh 50 gram of powder drug and in a 500 ml beaker and mixed it with 100 ml of methanol pure. Add another 100 ml of methanol and left for 24 hours. Then filter and collect the filtrate. Extract this methanolic extract with 3 portions of petroleum ether, subsequently with benzene, ethyl acetate, chlorium and solvent ether. Transfer the methanolic layer into china dish and evaporate on water bath to get the glycyrrhizin as a precipitate or slummy mass. We are moving over to the last method of the isolation, that is ammonia extraction method. In this method, glycyrrhiza is extracted with hot water and filtered. Filtrate is acidified with concentrated sulfuric acid up to the pH 2.8. The precipitate is dissolved in the dilute ammonium hydroxide and poured into the acetone to precipitate ammonium glycyrrhizinate. The precipitate is dissolved in hot water and evaporated to get ammonium glycyrrhizinate. Now we are moving over to the next portion and the last portion of the isolation, that is identification. In the identification, we first perform Lieberman test, that is in this test we will mix 2 ml of test solution with 2 ml of acetic anhydride and boil it. And then after boiling and cooling, we will add 0.5 ml of sulfuric acid. A blue color appears. In the process of identification, we will perform thin layer chromatography also on this glycyrrhizinate or ammonium glycyrrhizinate. In this thin layer chromatography, we will take a stationary phase of silica gel G, mobile phase of ethyl acetate, and we can take formic acid, glacial acetic acetate in a ratio of 15:1:2, a butanol, gastric acetic acid, and water 7:1:2. Now we are moving over to the last parameter of that isolation, that is estimation. We can estimate the ammonium glycyrrhizinate or glycyrrhizinic acid with TLC densiometry, colorimetric method, UV spectroscopic method, HPTLC method, and HPLC methods also. Now we will discuss the first method, that is TLC densiometry in a brief way. In the TLC densiometry, we will take the TLC plates of Kesel gel 60HF254. We will take a solvent system, N-butanol, acetic acid and water in a 7:1:2 ratio. For the detecting agent, we will take 1% ceruc sulfate in 10% sulfuric acid for the heating at 105 degree centigrade for 5 minutes. We will take a standard solution, a known concentration of glycyrrhizin, that is 0.5 to 2 milligram per ml. For the sample solution, we reflux 1 gram of sample with 50 ml of 50% ethanol, cool and filter. Reflux the mark with 50 ml of 50% ethanol and evaporate and dissolve the residue in 50% ethanol in the 10 ml. For the development of chromatogram, we will take 13 to 40 centimeter distance application at 10 microliter standard and sample. For the visualization of spots, we will visualize and scan the densiometer, integrate the area of a spot corresponding the glycyrretinic acid and calculate the percentage of the sample. Now we will moving over the second method of estimation, that is colorimetric method. In the colorimetric method, glycyrrhizin gives purple color with N-isaldehyde in the presence of sulfuric acid. This forms the basis of estimation. The intensity of color developed is proportional to the amount of glycyrrhizin, which is measured at 556 nanometer. In the spectroscopic method, the last one exactly, the second last one exactly, we will take, I have made a ray diagram for that. What we will do in this one, we will firstly take 1 gram extract and add 50 ml of 3% solution of trichloroacetic acid in acetone. Then stand it for few minutes and decant the liquid. After decanting, repeat the extraction 2 more times by adding 25 ml of trichloroacetic acid in acetone. Filter after the third extraction and dissolve this residue in 50 ml of water. Then wash the residue with 25 ml of acetone. Combine all the extracts. Add drop by drop concentrated ammonia until the abundant cheesy precipitate is formed. Filter in Buchner funnel. Wash the residue with 50 ml of acetone and 3 to 4 times. Dissolve the residue in 50 ml of water. Make up the volume up to 250 ml, that is solution A, and take 10 ml of other solution and dilute up to 500 ml. This is solution B. Measure the optical density of the solution B at 258 nanometer using water as a blank. This is a spectroscopic method for estimation of glycyrrhizinic acid. Now we are moving over to the last one, that is HPTLC method for the estimation. In this, sample application is band-wise with Linomat 234 microliter of standard and sample solution. Band length remains 66 mm. Distance between bands is 4 mm. For the chromatography, two-step chromatogram development, that is first run chloroform acetone 9:1, and in the second run we will take chloroform diethyl ether and formaldehyde in 80:15:1. For the quantitative evaluation, we will take it will done on 254 nanometer using mercury lamp as a monochromator in the HPTLC method for the estimation of glycyrrhizinic acid. This is all about the isolation, identification and estimation analysis of glycyrrhizinic acid. Now we will move over to the next of our topic for isolation of phytoconstituent, that is rutin. Rutin is basically a bioflavonoid. It is pure in the pure rutin is yellow or yellow green color. They are needle shaped crystals. For the extraction and isolation of the pure rutin, we will take 20 gram of the powdered drug in a Soxhlate with 250 ml of 80% ethanol. Filter it and mix it with 25 ml of water and extract it with petroleum ether and chloroform. Take aqueous layer in cold for 72 hours. A yellow precipitate separated, washed it with chloroform, ethyl acetate, ethanol in a 50-25:25 ratio. After that, the precipitate dissolves in hot methanol and filter it. The filtrate is evaporated to dryness to get a yellow powder that is known as rutin. For the identification test of the rutin, we will take ferric chloride test, lead acetate test and ammonium molybdate and antimony trichloride test. With the ferric chloride, pure rutin gives green color, but with the lead acetate it gives orange or yellow precipitate. With ammonium molybdate or antimony trichloride, it gives orange yellow precipitate due to the formation of a chelate. This antimony and ammonium molybdate and lead acetates are basically a heavy metal component, so they form a precipitate with rutin because rutin is a flavonoid. Now moving over to the estimation of the component, estimation of the rutin. For this estimation, we will perform TLC and spectrophotometric methods. In the TLC, a pre-coated aluminum sheet with silica gel G we will take. For the mobile phase, we will take ethyl acetate, butanone and formic acid and water in a ratio of 50:3, 30:10:10. For the ethyl acetate, formic acid, acetic acid and water, another mobile phase we will take 100:10:11:27. In paper C, stationary phase, that is filter paper W1, mobile phase, for the paper chromatography we will take stationary phase, that is filter paper, for that is Watsman filter paper 0.1, and for the mobile phase we will take acetic acid and water in a ratio of 15:85, or we can take isopropyl alcohol and water in a ratio of 60:40. For the next method for the estimation is the spectrophotometric method, and in this method we dissolve the rutin in methanol and detect it in the UV light. It will give a fluorescent color in the UV light when we dissolve it in methanol. That's it for the rutin exactly. Now we are moving over the next category of the phytoconstituent, that is quinoline alkaloid, that is cinchona bark. For this we are moving over to the next slide, that is quinoline alkaloid. Basically cinchona comes under the category of quinoline alkaloid. Cinchona bark is also known as Jesuit's bark or Peruvian bark. It is obtained from the cultivated trees of Cinchona calicea and Cinchona officinalis, Cinchona legeriana, Cinchona calicea, Cinchona succirubra. Exactly, the basic main species of Cinchona trees are Cinchona officinalis or Cinchona rubricolis and Some other varieties of cinchona are also found in all over the world. These varieties are Cinchona succirabra, Cinchona carisaya, Cinchona legeriana. They all come from the Rubiaceae family. Now we are moving over to the geographical source of the cinchona bark. It is obtained from the India, Colombia, Peru, Tanzania, Guatemala, Indonesia, Sri Lanka. In India, it grown in the Annamalai Hills and Nilgiri Hills in the Tamil Nadu and Darjeeling states. So the Tamil Nadu and Darjeeling states are the main cultivator of that cinchona bark, which is a main source of anti-malarial crude drug. Moving to the next, we are moving for the extraction of the cinchona. For this extraction or isolation method, we will extract quinine alkaloid, which is a part of quinoline alkaloid. This quinine, quinidine or cinchonine and cinchonidine are the popular quinoline alkaloids. They all are obtained from the dried bark of Cinchona officinalis, which belongs to the Rubiaceae family. All these have anti-malarial properties. Quinine also shows anti-arrhythmic agents. For the extraction, we moist and wet the cinchona bark powder with alcoholic calcium. Alcoholic calcium hydroxide or calcium oxide or potassium hydroxide in 20% and sodium hydroxide 5%. Keep the mixture as it is for few hours so that alkali can convert cinchona in the alkaloid free basis. Now, being non-polar in nature, these free bases can be extracted with benzene for 6 hours in Soxhlet apparatus, Soxhlet extractor. After complete extraction, filter the benzene extract and add 5% of sulfuric acid. Shake the above content mixture in separating funnel. Separate the aqueous layer from benzene layer and discharge benzene layer. Adjust pH 6.5 with sodium hydroxide. Precipitate the quinine sulfate and form, filter and recrystallize with hot water. Weigh the determined percentage, yield the melting point and dissolve the quinine sulfate, dilute sulfuric acid and add ammonia to the crystallized quinine. A sharp needle shape separates these crystals from other liquid. A sharp needle shaped crystal we will get with this particular method. Now we are moving over to the identification test of quinine, which we have got with the extraction and isolation method. Basically, the test which is performed on the quinine or quinoline alkaloid is known as Haloquin test. In this test, solution of cinchona drug, when treated with bromine and ammonia, it produces emerald green color. It is a very common test and it is a very well-known test, Haloquin test, which is known for the cinchona. For the identification, we have some other tests like to the little quantity of the sample we add 0.25 ml of bromine water, then mix well and add 1 ml of chloroform. Allow to stand for few minutes. Add 10% potassium ferric cyanide. Shake well and add 3 ml of 5 normal sodium hydroxide. Quinidine, which is form a chloroform layer, becomes red and chloroform layer remains colorless. It can be detected with the TLC and HPTLC methods. For the TLC and HPTLC method, we will take a stationary phase silica gel G and mobile phase diethylamine, ether and toluene in a ratio of 10:24:40. For the detecting agent, we will spray the iodopatinate reagent to color the spots. In the HPTLC method, we are moving over to the next. In the HPTLC method, we will take stationary phase of carbonatine, mobile phase of methanol, 1-acetonitrile 0.1 molar per liter is to ammonia and acetate at a flow rate of 1 ml per minute. For the detecting agent in HPTLC method, we will take fluorescence at excitation of 325 nanometer and emission of 375 nanometer. This is all about the quinine alkaloid, how we will isolate and how we will detect and how we will analyze that it is a pure quinine alkaloid. In this category of the estimation and isolation of the phytoconstituent, the next drug which we are going to discuss is atropine. Atropine, it is a naturally occurring propane alkaloid which is extracted from the deadly nightshade, that is Atropa belladonna, or Jimson weed, that is the Datura stramonium, or mandrake, that is Mangora officinarum, and other plants of the Solanaceae family. It is secondary metabolite of these plants and serves as a drug with a wide variety of effects. There are few pictures of these crude drugs from where it has been taken. Basically, all this atropine has been isolated from Atropa belladonna or Hyoscyamus niger or Datura stramonium from the leafy part of the plant. We are moving over to the next, that is chemistry and properties of the Next, we are moving over to the chemistry and properties of atropine. The melting point of atropine is 115 to 116 degrees centigrade. The molecular formula is C17H23 and NO3. On hydrolysis, it gives alcohol, tropine and tropic acid, which indicates that atropine is an ester. It is optically inactive. Atropine is a racemate form of hyoscyamine. It is soluble in ether, easily soluble in chloroform and alcohol, but it is sparingly soluble in water. For the isolation process, we will discuss now isolation of atropine. For the isolation, the powdered drug or juice is moistened with the aqueous solution of K2CO3, which is extracted with chloroform, evaporated the solvent and extract with dilute sulfuric acid. Acidic extract made alkaline by potassium carbonate. Atropine precipitate out, crystallized by the use of alcohol. This is the final atropine we will get by crystallizing by the alcohol. Now we are moving over to the second method of the isolation. In this method, we will take the powdered drug, extracted it with 95% alcohol in a hot Soxalate apparatus. The ethanolic extract is concentrated and added to the dilute hydrochloric acid and filtered it. Extracted this filtrate with petroleum ether to remove the impurities. Aqueous solution make alkaline with ammonia, extracted again with chloroform up to 3 times, and then after that we combine both the extracts and evaporate to chloroform under vacuum. Again extracted with dilute oxalic acid, and finally we will get the crystals of atropine. This is all about the isolation of the atropine. Now we are moving over to the identification test. The main identification test and the well-known identification test of the atropine is Vitali-Morin reaction. This name reaction has been given on the two scientists, Vitali and Morin, who have developed this reaction. In this Vitali-Morin reaction, we take alkaloid or atropine around 1 microgram and to this added drops of sulfuric acid and evaporated it to the dryness. Added 0.3 ml of 3% solution of potassium hydroxide in methyl alcohol, which produces a bright purple color. It indicates presence of atropine. Another test through which we can identify the atropine, on addition of ammonium nitrate solution to the solution of hyoscine hydrobromide, a yellowish white precipitate is formed, which is insoluble in nitric acid but soluble in dilute ammonia. This is also a test of atropine. Now we are moving over to the next part of the atropine, that is estimation or analysis. For this we will take the TLC methods. In the estimation of atropine, we will take the TLC method. For this, we will take 1% solution of atropine dissolved in 2N-acetic acid and is spotted over silica gel G plate, and which is eluted in the solvent system of strong ammonia solution and methanol, which is in the ratio of 1:5:100. The TLC plate is spread with an acidified iodoplatine solution with the RF value is 0.18 when it is having a pure atropine. The solvent system we will take acetone, acetone and 0.5 sodium chloride solution. For the spraying we will take the drag and drop reagent. It can be also estimated with the GCMS method. In the GCMS method we will take a 0.5 ml of drugs solution, to this added 5 ml 5 microliter IS solution and 1 ml of borate solution, which is 0.1 molar at pH 9.3, which is placed in a test tube, mix well and pour in a column. After 15 minutes, compound eluted, washing with the 4 ml of dichloromethane. The elute is evaporate to dryness under nitrogen. The residue mixed with 50 microliter of O-bis trimethyl silyl trifluoroacetonamide, trimethylchlorosilane, that is BCTFA or TMCS, in a 99:1 ratio and warmed at 45 degrees centigrade for 20 minutes. The resulting solution mixed with 100 microliter dichloromethane, then injected in the GCMS for analysis. In the next category, we will move to the phytoconstituent, that is Rauwolfia, for the study its isolation, analysis and estimation. Rauwolfia, which is also known as Sarpagandha, it is the crude drug. Rauwolfia is obtained from the roots, that is roots of Chota Chan, Serpentina and Rauwolfia root are the synonyms. It is obtained from the dried roots of Rauwolfia serpentina, which belongs to the family Apocynaceae, do not contain 0.15% of reserpine or agmelicine. The geographical source, it is obtained from tropical regions of Asia, America, Africa. Commercially, it is grown in India, Sri Lanka, Myanmar, Thailand, America. In India, it is grown in UP, Bihar, Odisha, Tamil Nadu, West Bengal, Karnataka, Maharashtra and Gujarat. Overall, all over the India, it has been grown. Chota Chan, with the name of Chota Chan, well known. Now we are moving over to the isolation of the reserpine. For this isolation, roots are powdered and moistened with 10% sodium hydrocarbonate and extracted with benzene until gives positive reaction with mercuric iodide. Concentrate it and added ether and dilute hydrochloric acid, again concentrated it and separated it with acid layer, again washed with ether, make it alkaline with ammonia, then extract with chloroform. The chloroform extract washed with 10% sodium carbonate, then dry it and purify it by using methanol. Get pure crystal of reserpine with this method. For the identification, test and analysis, we will take the solution of reserpine and added to it vanillin in acetic acid. A violet red color is formed. Another test, which is colorimetric acetic solution of drug and sodium nitrite, we will take. For the analysis of estimation of the reserpine, we will perform HPLC. For this HPLC, we will take a mobile phase, solution A water and solution B acetonitrile. Both solvents filter with PTEF at 0.45 micrometer membrane. Flow rate of mobile phase is 1 ml per minute. Injection volume, that is 20 microliter at 25 degrees centigrade. We will detect the spots at UV 268 nanometer. This we ends with the Rauwolfia. Now we are moving over to the another phytoconstituent, that is tea. Tea, it is obtained from the Thea sinensis leaves, that is which belongs to the Theaceae. Macros, we firstly discuss the macroscopy of the tea because it's very important. We will learn that leaves are dark green and lanceolate, elliptical, blunt apex with blunt apex and margins are tapering. It have a characteristic odor and bitter taste due to the purine alkaloid. It contains caffeine, theophylline, theobromine, oxidases enzyme thiase and tannins. It also contains a volatile oil. These are basically chemical constituent of the tea. Basically, caffeine is also obtained from coffee beans. So we will discuss the coffee beans also. The synonyms of a coffee beans are coffee beans. The source are dried fruits of Coffea arabica and Coffea liberica, which belongs to the family Rubiaceae. Its geographical source is Brazil and India. The constituent of coffee beans are caffeine, tannins, fixed oils, proteins, and chlorogenic acid. During roasting process, the agreeable smell of coffee is developed due to the oil called coffeeol, composed of mainly furfural along with minor quantities of phenol, pyridine, and valerianic acid. The uses of caffeine is as a CNS stimulant and diuretic. Now we will study the first one, isolation of caffeine. Now we can discuss the caffeine, we can isolate the caffeine from the two different sources, that is leaves of Camellia sinensis and the beans of Coffea arabica, coffea beans. Now we will discuss the isolation of caffeine. For the isolation of caffeine, we firstly extract 50 gram of powdered tea with 200 ml of ethanol for 6 hours in a Soxhlet apparatus. Then transferred the extract in a porcelain dish containing magnesium oxide suspended in the 100 ml of water. Mixture is evaporated to dryness on a water bath. In residue, add water, make it paste, add more water and make a suspension, and then filter and collect the residue. In this filtrate, added 10% sulfuric acid and boil it for 30 minutes. While hot, add 25 ml of chloroform and then add sodium hydroxide or potassium hydroxide, which is available in it, for the decolorization of the color of tea. Added equal volume of water and separate it with chloroform layer. Evaporate to the dryness and added water for the purification. Finally, we will get the needle shaped crystals of caffeine with this isolation procedure. Now we are moving over to the famous Murexide test of the identification of caffeine. In a petri dish, for the Murexide test, we add drug in a petri dish, and this we add hydrochloric acid and potassium chloride and heat it to make it dry. It shows a purple color vapors with dilute ammonia. When we have put it in on drop wise, it produces precipitate with tannic acid solutions. For the estimation, we will perform a TLC, and for the TLC we will take the suspending agent, that is ethyl acetate, methanol and acetic acid in a 80:10:10 ratio. In the next category of the phytoconstituent, we will discuss the resins for the estimation and isolation. For the isolation of resins, we will study the curcumine or turmeric. Turmeric is a Zingiberaceae family wisely cultivated species in India and other Asian countries. For the extraction, we will take the fresh rhizomes which were collected, washed and deionized. Water. Sliced and dried in sun for a week and again dried 50 degrees centigrade in a hot air oven for 6 hours. Dried rhizomes were cut into small pieces and powdered by electric mill. Taken 20 grams of sample in a thimble and placed in a Soxhlet apparatus where set up to various solvent from non-polar to polar. 150 ml of solvent added and extracted 6 hours, that is hexane. Again, then at 69-degree chloroform, the solvents which are used for the extraction basically are in a row exactly. Firstly, we will take hexane, then we will take chloroform, ethyl acetate, methanol, acetone, and one with hexane for 2 hours. Hexane extract was discarded and powdered extracts with methanol 6 hours. After completion of extraction with these solvents, we will get a dark brown extract, washed, then it is cooled, filtered and concentrate using rotatory evaporator, finally by vacuum suction to get a crude extract yield calculated. The crude extract then evaporated after 3 days and add 100 ml toluene. Then transferred it in a separating funnel. To this added 100 ml of sodium hydroxide 0.2 molar and shaken it for few minutes. We will take aqueous phase collected. In this we add hydrochloric acid up to acidification value of pH 3. In this step, a brown extract turns to the yellow. The filtrate is then extracted with diethyl ether, that it will give a bright yellow color, and ethereal phase washed with 30 ml of water dried over magnesium sulfate, and finally we will get the yellow color crude curcumine, which can be purified by TLC. Next we will move on the identification of curcumine. In the identification of curcumine, a yellow-orange crystalline powder with melting point 183 degrees centigrade, which is insoluble in cold water and soluble in alcohol, glacial acetic acid, dissolves in sulfuric acid. It yields red color in 0.1 normal sodium hydroxide. Next we are moving over to the estimation. For the estimation we will cover the TLC with a stationary phase silica gel 60F254, and we will take a mobile phase chloroform and methanol in a ratio of 95:5, and we can also take benzene and ethyl acetate in a ratio of 18:2. We will take a detection at UV 420 nanometer. In the next category of the estimation, we will study podophyllum or Indian podophyllum. It is also known with the name of Indian mayapple, wild lemon or duck's foot or hog apple. It can be obtained with the dried rhizome and roots of the Podophyllum hexandrum or Podophyllum amodi, which belongs to the family Barbidaceae. The podophyllum is cultivated in India from Kashmir to Sikkim, and it also grows in Tibet and Afghanistan. For the isolation, we will take 120 gram of root powder, which is extracted with methanol in a 300 ml Soxhlet apparatus for 6 hours. Taken the filtrate and concentrated it and added 200 ml of water containing 2 ml of hydrochloric acid and cooled it, and allowed the mixture to stand 2 hours below 5 degrees centigrade. Filter under vacuum. Wash it again and acidified with water. Dissolve residue in sufficient quantity of hot alcohol 90% and then filtered. To get filtrate, evaporate it, weight it and get podophylloctoxin in a dry way. Then we are moving over to the identification. For the identification, we macerate the 0.5 gram of drug with the 10 ml of alcohol and filtered it with 0.5 ml of copper acetate. A brown precipitate appears, gives the resultant of the podophylloctoxin present. In the alcoholic extract, we will add 5 ml of 1N-KOH. A stiff jelly produces, identifies the podophylloctoxin presence. For the analysis, we perform HPLC. For the analysis, we perform HPLC, which is performed on thermophenol HPLC machine with a pump system of 966 photodiode detector at 283 nanometer. A satisfactory result with get EMUC RP18 column with diode array detector and auto injector. We are moving over to the next, that is mentha. The synonymous peppermint oil, mint or pudina, or brandy mint or lamb mint. Biological source of mentha is, it is obtained by the steam distillation of fresh flowering tops of Mentha piperita, which belongs to the Labiatae family. The geographical source are Asia, Europe, North America. It is cultivated in India, Japan, Germany, France, Italy. The isolation have been done with the steam distillation process. Here the steam distillation machines have, you can see, it has been discussed earlier. This isolated mentha oil has been identified with the few drops mixed with the 5 ml of nitric acid and heated on water bath. Within 5 minutes, liquid develops a blue color. Further heating shows copper color fluorescence on the fluorescent development. After some times, it becomes yellow. In the next, we will study the analysis of this one. Next, we will study the lemongrass. Lemongrass, it is India melissa oil, which is also known as fever grass, East Indian lemongrass oil. It is obtained from the leaves of aerial parts of plants Cymbopogon flaccus and Cymbophloron citratus, which is obtained from the Gramineae family, and the oil should not contain less than 75% of aldehyde as citral. Isolation of citral. It is acyclic monoterpenoid and isolated by steam distillation process as discussed earlier. It contains 90% of citral A and 10% of citral B. It has been identified with alcoholic solution of Sudan 3 was added, a red color produced. The test sample with the tincture alkane, it gives red color. For the analysis, It can be analyzed by the gas liquid chromatography, that is GC14B, coupled with a non-polar Db5 capillary column using flame ionization detector. Next we will study the artemisinin. Artemisinin, it is a semi-synthetic derivative of group of the drug, possesses most rapid action of all current drug against Plasmodium falciparum, that is Artemisia. It is isolated from the Artemisia annua, that is sweet wormwood. It has been isolated with the solvent methanol, which is performed on the magnetic stirrer with a speed of 700 rpm for 1 hour. The process repeated till methanol layer becomes colorless. Extracted, then evaporated using rotavapor vacuum at temperature 14 degrees centigrade until vacuum volume becomes 100 ml. The extract solution was partitioned using 50 ml hexane until a colorless hexane layer was obtained. For the identification test, 1 gram powder boiled with 10 ml of alcohol, filtered sodium hydroxide, heated, a red color obtained. It can be analyzed by IR spectrophotometry, UV spectrophotometry, TLC and LCMS also. Thank you. This is NV, the phytoconstituent screening.